Hello, everyone. This is the David Goodman Reality and Truth Show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This is part 2 of Your Mortgage Guy. We have again with us today Mr. Charles Bachman.
Hello.
He is Your Mortgage Guy. And then we have Mr. John Inuzzi. He is the producer. So we left off talking about all of the details on how to get a mortgage, how to get a reverse mortgage, and things like that. So today, we want to start off talking about some of the protections of having a reverse mortgage. And I'm going to defer to you, John.
Well, so we've established that the population that we're both trying to reach is arguably one of the most vulnerable out there, right?
And the largest.
And the largest. But the protections that are in place are deserved. And we wanted to stress that the counseling that these folks enter into before they're approved,
Before they even apply.
This doesn't move forward without this counseling. Mr. Bachman, maybe you could walk us through the certification that these counselors have to have. Who are these people that are on the other end of the phone when the senior gets involved in this?
They're certified by HUD.
Housing Urban Development.
They're certified by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. They've taken courses on it, and they are certified counselors. They know the programs, they know the laws specifically in your state, whichever state the house may be, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey. They know the federal guidelines, and what they'll do is they will go through the proposal that we prepare. The first step, the senior calls in, they said, yes, I'm interested. I get their information, how old they are, how much they owe on the house, and any credit cards that they would like to pay off. That generates a proposal. The proposal tells them their loan amount, loan fees, and that proposal goes to the senior and also goes to the counseling member who does the counseling with them. So when the counselor and the senior at the same time, they're going through the documentation that I've sent them. And that can take, the senior counseling can take anywhere, the shortest is an hour, the longest I've ever heard of is 2. Which is a long time. There was a time when people used to actually go in and they would meet the counselor face to face. COVID kind of stopped that, and I don't really see that going back to the way it's going to be. And they just do it over the phone. It's an 800 number. They set up an appointment, senior calls up, and the counselor does their bit with them. We'll ask as many questions as the senior has. The counselor will say yes, no, that's correct. No, this is the way this works. It's basically the information that I've given the applicant upon on the proposal. The counselor verifies. It's like a third party. It's a third party verification.
And what red flags are they looking for?
To make sure that the senior really understands that they're putting a mortgage on their property, and they may be spending down their equity that's going to be on the property. Because I tell people right off the bat, it's not magic. This is not money that the government's just giving out that no one has to make a repayment on. It's the equity that's getting spent down on the property every month. Now, what most people don't realize is that you can make a payment every month on a HECM mortgage, on a HECM or reverse. You get a bill, you get a statement, comes in the mail every month, it says this is what you have out. This is your balance, this is the rate. And if you wanted to send in even a partial payment, if, let's say, the payment, I'm making it up, the payment is $1,500. If you wanted to send in a payment for $750, you could do that. And people don't realize that. They think that it's all or nothing, but it really isn't.
So what's the benefit of making payments on a reverse mortgage?
If you make payments on it, you won't spend the balance down as fast. Okay. So you'll have room on your credit line.
Budgeting. I mean,
it's a budget thing. I mean, you could do it as a budget thing. Most of the people that we have, I don't think they do. I mean, I've asked them, they say, I'm going to make a payment, and we follow, as I said, we follow up afterwards. And sometimes they do, and sometimes they just drop out, because they find that they've got use for that money somewhere else. It's a trip, or, the top things that people use for HECM: home improvement, energy efficiency. Everyone wants to make their house more energy efficient now. And credit cards, medical bills, I mean, those are the top 4 that really suck up most of the funds at the closing.
More money in your pocket.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone wants...
That excites me.
Yeah, everyone wants a little bit more money. I mean, especially when you retire. I mean, you're not earning like you did when you were working. In retirement, you're often at 50 or 60% of what you were doing. And as everything gets more expensive, you have to cut somewhere.
You're on a fixed income.
Yeah, you're on a fixed income.
As inflation
it's terrible.
rises. So that's a good protection. So it sounds like once you sit down with the individual and go over everything, then there's a second level of protection.
Yes.
Has to be approved by the commissioner of HUD or
Yeah,
whomever.
it's
great.
it's very regulated.
So-
It really, they're again, it's a government program. I
Yeah.
mean, the government sponsors it. I mean, they make sure that the seniors are protected, that everyone knows where they're going to be. They don't want, and most importantly, the senior needs to know they need to pay their house, they need to pay their house insurance and their taxes. That's key, and that's ingrained right from the beginning. And that's really what didn't happen in the beginning. People
Right.
said, "Oh, I thought I didn't
We
do
got
it,"
better.
and that was the problem. So they get smarter, you know. And as they go through this process, the government says, "Okay, these are the places that we're getting jammed up. Let's make the program better. Let's have the counseling program. Let's have the counselors really stress that. Let's have the loan officers really stress that." And that's key. And that's key.
Yeah, and let's protect the homeowner so that no one loses their home
Yeah, nobody wants
unless
that.
they want to. Or,
Which-
you get all the information up front.
Correct.
So is there, okay.
I would just add too that the person that you execute the loan with, you need to know who that person is. And again, that's where folks like you and Mr. Bachman come in to play such an important part. I told this story over and over on the radio, which, by the way, radio1400.am archives both your program and Mr. Bachman.
That's
so
right.
if anyone wants to
They're all
go
out
back
there and listen
and
to
listen
us.
to any of them, Vanita is our lead-in, as I said, and as a matter of fact, she was on the show with us a couple of weeks ago. So,
I love when he says that.
and we loved having her in. Class the place up. But the person that you're doing this with is so important because I took part in a seminar for the industry.
did?
I represented our show. It was called Rock the Reverse. And I found out that they did an anecdotal study. Only 5% of the people on this seminar had ever fully executed and
true.
completed
It's true.
a HECM reverse mortgage loan. So you could be getting involved with someone potentially who's never actually done this successfully. That's putting a lot of trust and a lot on the line.
Yeah.
So knowing who you're working with on stuff like this is paramount.
That's important. And this is a product that, can't name bank names, but I mean, 95% of the banks that are on your local corner, brick and mortar, will not do this program. They just don't do it. They don't want to be involved in it, whatever reason, I don't know. So, I mean, here at our company, we do it. We close them in our own name. We do not broker them. We close these loans in our own name. Someone from AFN, myself, will be on the phone with them from the beginning to the end of the process.
Right.
And we don't sell it to anybody else.
So basically, it's not the bank that you're doing the business with, it is
The person.
the representative. And I take that same approach with insurance. I take a lot of pride in what I do. I look people in the eye, and I do the best job that I can with the information that I have. And I give them all of the information. And a cell phone number, so if you have any questions once I leave your house, I live in West Haven. You can call me, and I will call you back. That is the key to your success. Sitting down with someone that's going to analyze your budget for you and what it is that you need and make a recommendation just by giving you all the information, so you'll tell them exactly what to do because they will ask questions, right? You'll ask questions.
And they're looking for
and then
guidance.
based on your answers to our questions, they create a recommendation for your needs, whatever that may be. And we don't even know which bank name we're going to use or whatever. So that's really not important. It
Right.
really isn't.
It's just the product.
It's so much a solution to a problem, even more so than a product. From my standpoint, from insurance standpoint. So I sit down with people, and they tell me, I need to do this, I need to generate more income, or whatever it is. And so being in the business for the short 8 years that I've been in the business, I feel like I'm a problem solver instead of providing a product because I don't even know what product they're going to need. There's, insurance is at the forefront of innovation. There's so many insurance products. I could just give you life insurance, but is that going to suffice your needs?
True.
So your business is the same way. And I realize that, there's probably in Connecticut alone, 10 to 12,000 people turning 65 every single month. It's just the state of Connecticut. Yeah, there's like 73 million people turning boomers every single day nationwide. So if you're in a position where you're turning 65 and you could use just the counseling, just the information, just to see where you are, and you want to retire, but you're like, oh, I can't retire for another 5 years because I got to pay this off and pay that off. Just, give us a call and get the information and see where it goes.
One call to do the proposal just to see if it works.
Yeah.
If it works.
Charles will come to your house. I don't know. I just offered out your services. I'm sorry.
No, we do it.
I go house to house. I drive to homes all over Connecticut, and I sit at kitchen tables all day, and I love it. And, I also have 2 offices in Farmington and then in Shelton. So if, someone doesn't want you to go to their home, then, they can come to my office.
People like that to come into the office. Or
Absolutely.
I find in the last 2 years with COVID, everyone wanted to do things over the phone.
Over the phone,
if it could be done, on a Zoom call, but as COVID wanes, people are going back to that old thing of let's meet, let's have a cup of coffee. Sometimes it's at a third-party location. I'll meet you at a Starbucks or something like that.
Absolutely,
People
man.
just want
I'm
to get out of
tired
the house.
I'm tired of Zoom meetings. I
am too. I am too.
I only do it because I have to. So,
And let me just say, as a producer, there's no replacement for being in a studio with the host, with the talent, and with the guests. The Zoom, it became grating on the ear, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't know how to approach a person over the phone with, like when I walk into a home, I might see a picture of the New York Giants or something, and we just start find that commonality, and we just start talking and establish that rapport, and next thing you know, it's I'm walking out shaking hands and you know someone.
That's it.
And with my clients, I tell everybody this, you get an invitation, if you're a client of mine, I come to your house, you're going to get an invitation.
I want that fish fry invite.
I think that's coming up.
It's my customer appreciation fish fry that I don't just, make and establish a rapport. I try to maintain it for longevity.
Can I ask you guys both, because
Please.
Anything.
Ask him first so I can think about my answer.
having watched how
Thank you, Vanita.
emotional. So my personal situation, my dad he was a business owner, had a stroke, could no longer work. The house that we grew up in, we were very fortunate to grow up in a suburban area in New York, and my mom had a plan. The plan was that the house was going to be the retirement. They had to sell at a different time than they anticipated. The market was down. The whole plan got shattered. And watching my mom engage with people on both sides, of the sale and the purchase and planning for the health care, it was very stressful. It took a toll on her. Do you guys ever lose sight of that personal impact that you'll have on someone's life?
No, I try not to, because
It's a big responsibility.
well, the funny thing about it is that my mother is now 82. So the things, when people call me with the problems or how they want to do a reverse, these are the same issues that I'm dealing with my mother at the same time. So I'm dealing with my mother on one track, and I'm dealing with the customers on the other track. So it really puts it in perspective for me because there are times that I am dealing with the children.
Yeah.
Of the parents.
Oh, most definitely.
And, the kids want to be involved. They want to make sure that the parents are protected, rightly so, which is great. I love talking to the kids because this way I know that everyone's on board. And, I'm talking to the children because I am the child of my mother who's 82 years old, and we're making plans for her at the same time. So it kind of dovetails. It's like when they're talking to me, I go, yeah, I'm going through the same thing with my mom right now. And they go, really?
You said this is a reality show. I just had a very real thought, though.
Go ahead.
What happens when the children don't have parents' best interests at heart?
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, that can happen. That happens.
That's sad to
It's
say,
scary
but-
for the
Yeah.
representative.
Right.
It's scary for the representative. But going back to your first question, I could just say ditto. The exact same thing. My mother's 83.
Yeah.
She's on, Medicare, and the children. I don't even want to sit down with somebody that's 80 years old without someone else unless they insist on it.
Right.
A child, a niece, a nephew, because I have their best interest, at heart, and that's pretty much it. This business for me is a business. It started out as, okay, I needed money to pay my bills. Now I look at this as a ministry. My goal is to walk into a house and leave that person or that family better off than before I got there.
That's a good way
in
to
one
look at
way
it.
or another. I'm not even looking at, commissions or anything like that, because I could always, put, recommend a solution where I'll get the biggest commission. I don't do that. I, recommend a solution to the problem, and the money will come, It's just going to come. If you do things the right way, the right things will happen. So it's all passion
What
and
is your
love for me.
coverage area?
Connecticut,
Oh, wow, the whole state.
New York, Maryland, and North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Where I'm going next weekend.
Strategically picked for, okay, right.
Because my husband's from North Carolina, and I have friends in Maryland.
Yep.
So, and we're close to New York.
Yeah, very close to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there is, when I was little, I used to always hear that old cliche, oh, it's better to give than it is to receive. I was like, yeah, right.
It's true.
It
is true.
Now that I'm older, it is so true. It feels so good to give than to receive. And I get so much pleasure out of that.
Well, this is the business. If we do our job right, and we do,
We will.
when you leave people, you've left them in a better place, and they're thankful. I mean, we had a woman many years ago with a reverse. She was having a hard time. She was behind on her taxes. She was facing foreclosure. We closed the HECM because the reverse, you can use it for that. And she, at the table, was crying.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she gave me a little desk ornament that's a paperweight, and I still have it. And every time I look at it, and I remember how she looked at me, the son was with her, and they had tears in their eyes because they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
They really didn't know what to do, and then they were introduced to me, and I said, we can fix that.
Yeah.
And they were like, really? I go, yeah, we can make that happen for you. And I remember that day, and it's going 15 years ago, and I remember it.
And that's what this show is all about. That's what Soundview Community TV is all about. We're a staple in this community. And the reason this TV station is here is to bring resources to our community, to help them in ways that they don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm. That's
true.
true.
You have people suffering, like this family,
Needlessly.
that did not know about what you can do for them.
True.
And so we are here to help get this information out. We're on YouTube. We want you to forward this information to your friends, your family, subscribe, do whatever you need to do.
Social media.
Social
Yes.
media. And I also want to mention another show. We have a new show called Connecticut at Your Service, and Carmen Nieves is the host. And that's on Tuesdays at 6:30 to 7. She selects a person. I'm going to recommend you guys too.
Thank you.
And she does like a 15-minute interview on them, and then they accept live call-ins on the show.
Well, that's
so for
ideal.
15 minutes from 6:45 to 7 p.m. So if you happen to be working at this time, pass it along to your children. If you're retired and you do get to see it, and let everybody know about Soundview Community TV, because we're here to help you. And I want to thank David Goodman for starting the show. And I want to thank Francisco, the quiet guy back there, the technician that does everything for us, and John E.K., who's the executive director. Tune in, share this information, go onto YouTube and like it. Even if you don't like it, like it.
Like it anyway.
Like it anyway.
Subscribe.
And subscribe.
Subscribe.
And subscribe.
Pass it to somebody else that may like it. And even if you can't use the service now, you may only be 60. Keep it in mind. You'll be 62 in a couple
And
years.
as you said,
It'll
we're
be here
licensed.
before you know
I mean,
it.
between us, we're We're licensed in
Oh,
all states.
definitely
You're licensed in 4
I'm
states.
licensed, yeah.
And not for you, but someone, an aunt or an uncle or a friend of the
Exactly.
family.
Referrals.
Someone that's saying, gee, I think they're having a hard time, and this winter fuel oil is going to be $6, $6.50.
Yeah.
It's going to be, these are people that are struggling, and seniors, they've got some equity. They need someone that they can trust to have a conversation with, and that's really what we offer.
You need the information to know what's out there and what you can do.
And, not from a call center, not from someone who's sitting 1,500 miles away from your house, someone that's going to come to you, sit down with you, and as you said, look you in the eye and say, yeah, we can do that.
Yep.
Tell me what you want to accomplish, and we can get you there, and we can make this stress and worry go away. And that's what people want.
We find solutions for
Yes.
problems. And it's always approved by another level, like HUD.
Yeah,
You don't have to take our word for it. Once we sit down and do everything,
exactly.
there's a second level of
Right.
No, the government has a website.
Oh, yes.
Where everybody, there's a list of places you could start calling to get that counseling scheduled.
Yes.
And just to reiterate, it's going to take a little time because they are backlogged. They are
It
very
takes
busy.
about 10 days. 10 days to 2
I started
weeks.
calling to find a guest to be on our radio show, and it took me days. So,
You don't have my number?
no, a guest who was a counselor.
Oh, okay, I know.
You'll be the next Philip host.
There's a lot of people out there, especially during COVID, with the rent moratorium and landlords.
That's up now, right?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And the mortgage moratorium is up as well.
Yeah. So if you're in a situation, find out what's available to you.
That's
Yes.
a good point. A lot
Absolutely.
of the COVID relief,
Oh, that's
run
done.
its course.
Yeah, it's done now.
That's done. So, there's a million reasons to just, like I said, pass the information along.
Yeah.
Pass it along. Any more protections? I like protections.
The HUD counseling thing is very big.
is.
And I've had customers on. After I've been on the phone with them for an hour or two, or another hour, that's 2.5 to 3, and then the HUD counselor is on. That's 4 or 5 hours worth of conversations about something, and I think that's amazing.
And I think you need to drive home the fact that this ensures that no one is tricked or coerced
Correct.
into doing
Correct.
anything they don't understand or want to do.
Everyone goes forward with their eyes open, and the kids especially. We do deal with a lot of the children. Half the people we're dealing with now, it starts off with a call. My mom needs help. My dad needs help. We are spending down our assets. He will spend his assets down. We've got people with private duty nursing. it could be $1,000 a day.
Oh, yeah. It's
And
a
you're going
nightmare.
through $10,000 or $15,000 a month, and they do the math and go, we're going to be out of money in 9 months. And then what do we do? So this is a product. This is a program. This is a HUD program that people should think about and say, I may not need it today, but to have it in place is not. It's better to not need it and then have it in place for when you do need it.
Right.
And it's easier to do it then, and you're not as stressed.
Exactly.
For the most part.
Exactly. It's always great to have a backup plan.
That's it. Plan B.
You got to have a plan B, and I do that in everything. So, it's just essential that you do that.
My grandfather was a Army pilot. He worked on planes. He was a construction. He was a team leader for the construction of the Philip Morris building in Rye. It's this massive structure. It seemed to me that everything would be laid out for him the rest of his life. It didn't even occur to me that there was a potential that he would pass at a nursing home in the Bronx. It just didn't even seem like that could have been his end.
Nope.
And it was. And there was nothing we could really do about it. So,
Well, between Vanita
Plan.
and I, we can stop that.
Absolutely.
It's all about a plan. You must put a plan in place.
Nobody plans to end up in a nursing home. So I always tell people, plan now or pay later,
how much time do we have left?
Uh,
Okay, real
3
quick.
minutes.
The one thing I wanted to talk about, too, is that when you were on the air with us, you talked about growing up in Bridgeport, and the housing project that was across the street from where I lived for over a decade was torn down. They're now erecting a new project, mixed residential retail, and the center of it, okay, is a 7,600 square foot health facility. Healthcare is on the top of everyone's mind.
True.
Even new development, the cost of healthcare, lowering it, keeping people healthier longer, it is paramount. It's just the most important thing. And the services that you guys provide help to fund that.
We help to allay the cost, and we help to really get the dollars that people need to fund their healthy lifestyle or their healthy lifestyle. I mean,
Exactly.
everyone wants to live as long as they can, as healthy as they can in their home.
That's right.
And that's key. Myself, you, I mean, look, we're all boomers. I mean, I'm born in 63.
Hey,
yourself.
speak for yourself, man.
Well,
I know.
I mean, look, I'm born in 1963. Depending on how you see it, I'm either the last year of the boomer or the second last year of the boomer. I think it's 62 or 63. So we're the tail end of it.
By the way, that's
John's
what
a
that
baby.
I am a boomer, and I didn't know it when I found out. I was like, oh my God.
Did you
You're
feel?
on the cusp. But
I'm
that is
proud to
one
be
of
a
the-
boomer. I'm going to sell a
Me too,
T-shirt.
I love
Proud
it.
to be a boomer.
That was honestly, one of the most pejorative and obnoxious things that I think that people a little bit younger than me have ever come up with. To be so condescending to people in that age range is very disrespectful, and certainly not the way I was raised. I can tell you that much.
No, without
That's
doubt.
right. We were raised up with respect. You had to respect everybody, and that was it. So, I mean, I feel like
We covered a lot of ground here.
yes,
didn't
we did.
Yeah, we always
and
do.
Just to piggyback off of the healthcare, almost every single Medicare plan has a free gym membership to help keep people healthy and free preventative care. So, guys, we have like 30 seconds left. I don't want to take it all.
Okay.
Last words.
See you on the radio, right? Tune in on Tuesdays and radio1400.am, the archives. Go through, listen to.
Yes, they're all there.
Listen to all those great podcasts
And-
and subscribe to this channel.
And follow us on YouTube. And I want to thank you so much. Thank you guys both for coming on.
You're
This
very
has been
welcome.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Both shows.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. This is a David Goodman Reality and Truth Show, and we're on your side.
Thank you.